Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we're going to talk about the Withermoon Festive Legendary Ice Sorcerer Kathool. I think he's going to be a pretty interesting dragon if he can manage to do enough damage. Now, his first main spell is Elder Sign. It's a 2 rage red spell that, when it's activated, gives a 50% shield, 50% of his modified HP as a shield. And it'll be there permanently until either you reactivate the spell or the shield is broken. So by reactivating the spell, which does not cost any rage, it will consume this shield and damage nearby towers for 8% of Kathool's modified HP and cause those towers to take an increased damage of 25%. Now I think that's an indefinite debuff. His passive spell is Eternal Might, which increases his HP by 100% and his attack by 50%. So this increase in HP is going to be critical for him in tanking some tower shots and modifying his attack damage, because his spells are HP based. Next we have Awaken, which is a 0 rage white spell, so pretty much you can use it anytime. The key thing with this is you can only use it once per battle. This spell will deal 8% of Kathool's modified HP and will restore all his health and rage and give him invincibility for 3 seconds. So this will be one of his critical spells to time appropriately, and we'll go into more details on that in a bit. His next spell, which will be his main use spell for attack, is Touch of the Deep, and this is an active white spell. It costs 1 rage and has a 1-second cooldown, and it will deal 13% of Kathool's modified HP as damage to all towers in a target area and freeze them for 4 seconds. The range of this spell will be a little bit smaller than Hyaku's Meteor, so you should still be able to hit 3 towers in the front and 2 towers in the back of, for example, Island 3. All his runes and glyphs will increase Elder Sign's explosion damage as well as increase Sorcerer attack damage. So how I think that this dragon will fly, I actually think he'll be a pretty good dragon. I did think that about Hyaku, and I was a little bit disappointed, but for a few reasons I think this dragon will be better. Now it all depends on how much damage these spells will actually do with the increased HP and attack boosts from Eternal Might. So you'll want to cast Elder Sign early to allow that 2 rage to regenerate. Now you should be able to cast this in the presence of a red mage, but the explosion damage and debuff will be blocked by a red mage. So you'll need to focus your attacks on the red mage first. Now Touch of the Deep is key here because it only costs 1 rage and it's a white spell, so you can cast it immediately when you come up to the island. You can actually preload it so you have extra rage if you have a long enough flight up to the island. Now you'll shoot Touch of the Deep on the front 3 towers, and then if you can, shoot it on one of the back towers that will be doing damage, and they'll all be frozen for 4 seconds. So you have time to do regular attacks and then freeze them all again. Now once the red mage is down, you'll use Elder Sign to consume the shield, deal additional damage to the remaining towers, and debuff them so that they take increased damage, at which point further uses of Touch of the Deep will do even more damage. And if you come into the island with full rage and you're going to use Touch of the Deep in 2 different spots to lock down most of the towers, you should be able to lock them down for 8 seconds. If you have one of the Touch of the Deep pre-casted, you'll have a total of 6 uses, which would be 12 seconds that you could keep all the towers inactive. If at any point you're out of rage or you're about to die, you can use Awaken 1 time per battle. That will deal an additional burst of damage, 8% of his HP, and it will give you full health and rage and make you invincible for 3 seconds. So you have some time to gather your thoughts, and then with that full rage you can cast Touch of the Deep 5 more times, or apply the Elder Sign shield if you feel like that would be more beneficial, and then use it again to do more burst damage. So I do think this dragon has potential to be quite a strong dragon. It'll just depend on how much damage this 8% and 13% of his modified HP actually translates to against the towers you're attacking. I do think he'll be a bit challenging to make the most use of, so it'll be interesting to see some flights when people get this dragon. If you've been waiting for this dragon to make your decision on who to get, it would probably be in your interest to wait and see some gameplay before you make your decision, unless you're completely sold on this spell set, because I do think there's a lot of potential here. It just may be a bit challenging to use. If I can, I'll try to get some gameplay from somebody who does get this dragon so I can share it with you guys on my channel. And I may do something similar to last season where I got the Festive a little bit, but I would go to a much lower level, and I don't know if I would be able to unlock all the spells at that point. But I hope this was helpful, and good luck if you do get him.